Hello my beautiful hammerheads and welcome back to another Black Library review. This time Bloodlines, an Augusto Zidoroth novel by Wraight. So first off, I'm not a crime novel enthusiast, so I have never read anything or watched anything which had basically this theme of crime drama. I don't even know what it's called. The only thing I watch with detective work is Batman. And this is a totally different story. I don't know how to rate this one, so I got a little bit of help from a friend who reads crime novels and asked her about it a little bit, told her a little bit of the novel. Of course, I got a little feedback for that. And after I finished the book, I of course did some open source research, which means Google. Both sources, well, the feedback from my friend and the Google reviews, well, they were pretty consistent that this is a very good crime novel. So I'm gonna operate on this assumption that this is a good crime novel. And well, of course, I'm going to mix in my feelings about this. First of all, of course, it's Augusto Zidoroth is the main character. As far as I'm aware of, this is the first story with him. There might have been a short story which I have missed, but I don't really know because it's crime, so this wasn't really on my radar. I've got the recommendation from Beardhammer in the comment section of my Kazakin review, so thank you for that. And so I jumped into this book. So you might have guessed, Zidoroth is basically detective. He's a probator, a policeman, and he does, well, of course, all the detective stuff. This whole story is basically a bunch of cliches in which he has a little bit of gut, he is a little bit older, his wife is a nurse, he has a daughter, and so on and so on. His boss is a little, well, bossy with some people, and yeah, all the tropes for a detective crime novel. So my first impression wasn't as enthusiastic as I have hoped. However, this whole thing shifted in the first quarter of the book because the story started really to be interesting for me. Everything is grounded in the story. It is not something which is the whole system is in danger. No, the whole universe might be at stake. No, this is a rich family. The son has gone missing. He has to find the son. That's it. And on his journey to find the son, he's, well, of course, stumbling upon, let me call it, drug cartel. Their main product is illegal rejuvenation treatments. And we had in Kazakin the high quality stuff, which is very rare because it's a natural resource. And in this one, they talk about the high quality synthetic product and the street drug cartel, someone's going to die product. Because this is so fascinating. This might be a little spoiler, so sorry for that. However, I think this is pretty interesting for the greater story of 40k, as these rejuve treatments are made from people. They're stealing their youth, basically. It's called cell draining. And this is a very cruel method, as sometimes they don't kill the person, but they're using them over weeks, months, years, and just draining them of everything, basically. So pretty rough. So he doesn't have an anti-grav vehicle. He has a strict ground car. So I don't know what the equivalent in a crime novel movie is just, in my mind, he just drove in a Ford or in a Volkswagen or something like that. Something very cheap but reliable. And of course, there has to be a chasing scene with guns fighting, basically. So in my mind, this was 50s style car chase, gunning. I don't know what to call it. As I've said, this is really my expertise. I bet there is a terminology for that. But like Vedar Ra told me, this is a real normal life in the Imperium. We had in Kazakin, in which the general talks about how the Imperium is run by fear. Everything we know, everything the Imperium tells the citizens is to make them afraid of everything. But the majority of the planets is very peaceful. And on this planet and in this city, Varangantua, the people don't know about Xenos. Xenos is just a word for them. They haven't seen one. They never heard of anything. It is basically just a myth, which is very fascinating. Belief in the Emperor is, of course, all present. The main character and his wife are pretty much atheists, and they're just playing along with the whole Imperium stuff because they don't want to get burned as heretics. But there is a little bit of cult shenanigans, or pretty much a derivative of the Imperial Creed. However, this turns out to be this hopefully second novel. Maybe there is one with Zidoroth, I don't know. Okay, there is a short story, and in the Warp's Conspiracy is also a short story. I have to read those. Okay, but there is the potential for a chaos cult or a derivative for the, as I've said, Imperial Creed. So there is so much stuff in this book for how the Imperium on a relatively peaceful planet sees the universe. They have no idea of the Cicatrix Maledictum, so the Great Rift, which is also very fascinating. Also, again, in Kazakin, they're talking about how many planets had the struggle with their astropaths, with void travel, of course, but the light of the Cicatrix Maledictum itself didn't even reach those planets because it's the speed of light. And Varangantua, so in the city Varangantua, they also have this, that they had the problem with the astropaths, with void travel, but they don't know why. As I've said, there is many interesting and fascinating stuff in there. Chris Wraight doesn't really delve that much into the relationship between probators, syndicates, and rich people, which I enjoyed because I wasn't as perceptive for these things as the situation would have wanted me to be, if that makes sense. Because crime. But Zidoroth is a lovable character. He has his flaws, which I really liked. He has a strong moral compass, which I also enjoy in these kinds of stories. And there are some funny things in which he sees some rich people. I can't remember the quote, so I'm paraphrasing right now. They're just there to look expensive. So yeah, all in all, for me, this will not sway me in the direction of crime novels because it's not really my style. If this novel would have been anything else, would it be in the 50s in Los Angeles or something else, I wouldn't have touched it. I only read it because of the recommendation, and it is in the 40k universe. And if you take out everything 40k in it, it's just a Los Angeles 50s. For some people, this might be awesome. For me, it was okay. So will I read the other crime novels. They're interesting. I want to know more about Varangantua because one of the other crime stories also plays in the city, and I want to know what happens there, as there are many things hidden in the story. This is, for me, an equivalent of a Mongul, so Gothgul Hollows and Briardark. This might be going in the same direction, just with other authors. I don't know. I will have to see. So if you're not that into crime novels, but want to know more about regular life in the hive cities of the 40k universe, this is a good book. For me, it's a 7 out of 10 illegal rejuve treatments. And for crime fans, this might have been an 8 or possibly even a 9. And as I've said, there are no Xenos in it, there are no Marines, just regular, boring humans, which is awesome. This was fun. So, but what are your thoughts about Bloodline by Chris Wraight? Please leave your thoughts and questions in the comment section down below. I am keen to know what you have to say. And while you're down there, do all the YouTube stuff because hitting buttons is fun. If you want to support the channel and you don't know what to say, just write Bloodlines in the comments. Have a great day, my friend. Stay fantastic. Stay hydrated. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!